The first sin was not eating the fruit. It was wanting to be equal with God. Pride. All sin stems from it. This is always what I'm talking about. Christians cannot agree with each other about what the first sin is. They can't agree with each other about how it's the best way to worship God. They can't agree with each other about what is truly a Christian. Adam, who disobeyed God in eating forbidden fruit, was considered the first sin. Technically, Eve was the one who picked the fruit and everything. She got blamed for it, but it wasn't considered the first sin because she wasn't really considered that important. Because in the eyes of the Bible, only the man is important. And the other half of the Christians think that the first sin was because of Lucifer or Satan or the devil or whatever people want to call him, even though those are different things, wanted to be like God, and that was considered pride. So if you want to look like your favorite celebrity by using the same products as them, is that also pride? If you want to follow in your father's footsteps of being like a police officer or a shoemaker or something like that, is that also pride because you're wanting to be like somebody else? And if God is a perfect being, why would you not want to try and be like God? Why is that considered pride? Why is that considered a sin? Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. It's because in the Bible, God is a petty little bitch. He even names himself jealous. For you must not worship any other God, for the Lord, whose name is jealous, is a jealous God. So you got one half of Christians saying that the first sin was Satan wanting to be like God, so he got cast out of heaven. Then you have the other Christians who say that the first sin was some people who had no understanding of right and wrong because they haven't eaten from the tree yet, but now they committed the first sin, and it's damnable for everybody from here on in perpetuity. See, this is why I have a problem with Christianity as a whole now that I know way more about the Bible. If this God was an actual God, why would anybody want to worship him? And why would you want to spend an eternity with somebody who is this petty and this jealous? Most people wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a person who is that petty and jealous. But Christians pride themselves on saying, I've got a relationship with God. I gotta tell you, if you do, it's an abusive relationship, and it's only one-sided. Your God gets all the benefits from this relationship, but he couldn't care less what happens to you. Like when God sends tornadoes to kill a bunch of children in a church school. Or when 11 people who died in a church because the roof collapsed in on them. They were buried alive. It seems like God should be protective of his devout followers, right? Because they have a relationship with him. Meanwhile, there's atheists able to say, you know what, fuck that God. And nothing happens to them. As much as you think you know about God, there are other Christians who think you don't know shit, and they know God way better than you. And that's part of the reason why the whole religion is a scam.